Hey everyone, and happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining our second cooking class. Today we are making something that is very near and dear to my heart, pancakes. And it's not just any pancake, they're John's sourdough pancakes. My mouth has been watering ever since we talked about this last week, so I'm super excited.
As am I, Savannah. Yeah, my name is John, and you are watching the Heart of the Rockies Wellness U. Part of our team, Savannah here, exercise physiologist, specializing in all sorts of things, including food. And so that's why we've got her on here today. So today we're going to make sourdough pancakes with a warm berry compote jam topping
Yes.
to put them on. All right. So those of you that are following us here today, I know that you probably made some sourdough starter last week, and it's been 7 days for your sourdough starter, which is about what it should take. It's going to depend on your climate and all that. So what we have here is last week's sourdough starter, and we're going to make the pancakes. Basically, what we're going to make today is going to be ready to eat tomorrow morning. So we don't get to eat necessarily today. But if you're in the studio with us, you get to eat today. We had some very disappointed folks. So let's grab our sourdough starter and grab a. You're gonna need a somewhere like a big bowl or a mixing bowl or something like that, and we're gonna need flour and your sourdough starter and warm water. All right. So if you don't have those things, go ahead and grab those. But we're going to go ahead and mix this. All right. We are going to send out a recipe today for the sourdough pancakes. I know Savannah was good about that last week. And so if we don't have your email address, put it in the comments section of today's video so that we can send it to you. All right. Now, what I have here is whole wheat flour. This, it turns out, in a pandemic crisis, is a lot more popular than I would have thought. I went to the grocery store today, and there is zero whole wheat flour, and last week I found the same to be true.
I think that's because there's like a big trend. Like after you were like, let's do sourdough starter. The whole world is doing sourdough starters currently. I'm not kidding. Like everybody's stuck in their houses and so they're baking.
That is hopefully good news.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to grab 2 cups of water. I don't know if we need a close up, but everyone knows what 2 cups of water looks like. I'm not going to boil this. We're just going to heat it up. Okay. You can use, it's okay to use tap water. You just need warm water. All right. And then we're going to take our sourdough starter. I got just a few bubbles over 7 days. Now, how would you describe the smell?
I mean, I hate to say sour. You can kind of get like a yeasty type of smell. It just smells like bread to me, or like a really bread.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I feel.
And I think that's I don't know to what extent this is ready yet. It definitely didn't go the wrong way. Sourdough starter went the wrong way if it smells like rubbing alcohol. All right. If it smells like vomit or sort of bread flour, literally you're on the right path. Okay. So we're going to take 1 cup of our sourdough starter. See if I can do this backwards.
Nice.
Voila. We're going to pour that into our bowl. And since we have an induction burner, things heat up pretty fast. We don't want to have boiling water. So I already measured out 2 cups, but I'm going to rinse out our deal here so we get all that. Perfect. And then we want to add 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour. It can be all-purpose flour as well, but I pre-measured this whole wheat flour. We mix it in. Oops, sorry, hold on. Mix your sourdough starter with your water. Then you throw in your flour. Okay, everyone knows this. It's almost silly that we're doing this because everyone knows how to do this, right? So great cooking show, John, Savannah, showing us how to make flour and water. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna mix it all together real nice. And then we're going to set this out for 16 to 24 hours or just overnight. But why 16 to 24 hours? You remember from last week? We have a registered dietitian in the house today too.
Guys.
Because the bacteria in sourdough will eat up gluten peptides. So according to the research, and I have a wife who's celiac, now I am not touting this for everybody. You really got to do trial and error, okay? But in my family, I have my wife is celiac, diagnosed. She had really messed up like intestines, and then after 3 years, went back in for clinic this past summer, clear as a whistle.
Wow.
Been eating our sourdough pancakes and all that. So
then did you just technically kind of make like a big sourdough starter?
it did, yes.
Because you just fed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're in the desert, you want to get a wet napkin or a just dish towel, and then boom. So I do that like before we go to bed. We leave it out overnight, and then in the morning it's ready for the next step. Okay? But because this is a cooking class, we have thought ahead.
Yes.
Last night I took the sourdough starter and I did just what we did. Okay, so if you see, I don't know, shake, what do you see all over this?
Bubbles.
There's lots of bubbles on this. That means it's a very active process going on, okay? And what you want to do, so your first step after you, in the morning, you want to take, you give a little, you take a little. Okay, so like Savannah said, this is like a big sourdough starter right now. So we're going to take out a cup and we're going to add it to our sourdough starter. So we've replaced it. Okay. What you can also do is just add flour and water back in. It doesn't have to be this. Does that make sense? All right. So, Savannah, what's our next step on that recipe after we've pulled together, taken out our little bit of starter?
We add the powdered milk and egg to remaining batter.
All right, so I got some pre-measured powdered milk. We're going to do it. We'll send you this recipe, but if you need to write this down tonight because you may not get it, and you want to make this tomorrow, 1/8 of a cup. I got to check my recipe. I've been doing this from.
This is a 1/4 cup powder.
1/4 cup, yes. Good thing I measured a quarter just in case.
We think Savannah's here.
Tell you what, let's
Double check.
let's get official.
Yeah, I think it's about 1/4.
1/4 cup.
Perfect.
All right, so we're gonna put that in there, and then we're gonna have 1 egg that's beaten. I wish I could do it, the one-handed and like throw it up in the air. Here, I get all kinds of
We got a shell.
little bits of shell. Oh my goodness, cooking show is going wrong.
Do you want?
Here, I'll tell you what, I got a glove on. Classic. All right, so we're gonna beat that egg a little bit with a fork or a spatula.
I have it.
Nice job. Doesn't have to be pulverized or anything like that. We're gonna get our burner going at medium heat. And we'll start measuring our other ingredients, which is gonna be sugar, baking soda, and salt.
Can I add this?
Go ahead. Lovely. And so then let's just sort of gently fold that around. Do you mind doing that, Savannah, with that deal? I'll tell you what, probably should get to keep it truly sourdough friendly, or I mean gluten-free.
Oh, we don't want that.
Yeah. And,
Oh, here.
cut that really. Okay, awesome. Alrighty. So Savannah is just folding the batter around. You can get it nice and light. This is a real light batter. And we're going to do a teaspoon of salt. And Shay, do you think you could type these into the comments?
Absolutely.
There's the recipe is right here. That way folks can get it right away. So right along here, you do 1 teaspoon of salt. It's always dangerous to go right over your bowl.
Mm-hmm.
and 2 tablespoons of sugar, just because it's really sour. This is optional. I'm just going to do 1 tablespoon because my colleagues are watching me. And a little bit of baking soda as well. I believe is also 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Yes, okay. And let us know if you have questions. You can ask questions. All right, perfect. These things are ready. Our grill is heating up. I use cast iron at home. I don't know how this is going to turn out. We'll see. But I like to use butter for the griddle. Just gives it a nice flavor with the butter. And of course, you don't want to have it too hot. You probably have it too hot. No, it looks like it's going to be okay. All right, so Savannah mixed all that up, and we are ready for pancakes to go on the griddle after about 2 minutes. I like to just let this kind of, it does this thing where it just kind of fluffs up.
It is kind of fluffing up. Baking soda?
Yeah, it must be the baking soda interacting with something.
John, you have a comment.
Yes.
Rose CV. Why is John wearing 1 glove?
I'm right-handed.
Thanks, Rose.
Good question. This one's washed and this one is too. I don't know why. I was more focused on these details.
You wore it last week, so you just have to keep it going now.
Yeah, I'm a 1 glove kind of guy.
Glove kind of guy.
All right. So we are ready. You can make your pancakes any shape. What shape do you like, Savannah?
I like the classic Mickey Mouse. I've done them a lot.
Excellent. So we're going to put this in here. We don't want your heat too hot because that's going to burn before the middle cooks, right? There's a little bit of, skill involved in making a pancake, but you definitely don't want to flip it before it's too early. We're not going to go through all these. We're going to make a couple of pancakes, and then we're going to jump into our warm berry topping.
Yes.
Because at this point, it's not much of a viewer's.
Waiting for it to cook, right?
Question from the audience.
Yes.
When do you guys know to flip the pancake?
When do you know to flip the pancake? That's a great question.
I say a ring around it, or like you can start to see this thing crispy around all sides. Personally, I don't know.
My personal is when you get a whole bunch of bubbles, but in sourdough, it usually has a lot of bubbles to start with. So, is there a food science answer to this one?
No, I think that we both do the same thing as both of you guys.
Now, here's a great question for the audience. Why is your first pancake always crabby?
Good question.
Good question.
I don't know. That's what I would say.
I don't know why.
I don't think I know either.
I swear I've tried to have my pan this.
Well, I think it's like for me, my first one's always bad because like I'm either like really anxious about it or like my heat's too high or it's too low, and then I kind of finally like find that sweet spot.
That could be it.
Yeah.
All right, so this one's definitely going to be able to be flipped
Ooh.
on the side. But we made it.
It's so good. Looks good.
It looks like a
shape.
perfect golden hue.
Yes.
Does that look perfect? Great, and it allows room for another pancake. Always good to griddle or put more butter down in between every other pancake. Doesn't have to be every single one. All right, so I think we've got smelling really good.
Yeah, it is.
Already.
Yeah.
Very, very flavorful. So we will start. I'll keep making some pancakes.
Yeah.
You need to do that, and then you jump into what you got going.
Yeah. So we all have like our favorite pancake toppings. I know like my sister would say she really likes raisins and peanut butter and coconut on top of it because we can control what we're putting in it, and it's super easy. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna turn this on. We need about 2 cups of any type of berry. You can do raspberries, apples. We have blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, in here, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour this into this, and let me grab
Nice
honey.
flip.
Ooh, that's looking good.
And we need
Okay.
2 tablespoons of honey. And I usually don't like to even use a tablespoon. I just kind of guess because honey gets super sticky and you can barely get any of it off anyway. Maybe 2 tablespoons. And then a little bit of lemon juice, which we don't have lemon juice, but we have a little bit of Tropicana orange juice. We're just going to put a little splash in there, and that's just a teaspoon, so I'm just going to guess. We'll go with that. So now, once that's done, we're going to add chia seeds. So that's really about it for this.
So Savannah, why the chia seeds and why berries versus like apples or pineapple or peaches or something like that? Why'd
Yeah.
you choose berries?
Well, one, we already have, fruit person-wise, berries are my favorite. There's a lot of really good antioxidants in these. We all know they're like, blueberries are really good for cognitive decline. And it's lower glycemic, so it's not going to spike your blood sugar as fast. And then by adding the chia seeds, we're getting extra fiber. We're getting really good omega-3s. It's just a great thing to add. And why not? It's like super easy to add to this.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That was the answer I was looking for.
Good.
All right, man, look at this pancake batter now. It's just like it's about to take its own life form and jump right out of the pot. That's what I love about it. Another great point here that Savannah has is
We died.
oh no, I think we're just
We're there.
just sleep. We're gonna need new production assistants. Guys are freaking us out. Okay, we've got maple syrup. I don't see the Mrs. Butterworth anywhere.
So, maple syrup. Pancakes are near and dear to my family's heart because my grandparents make their own maple syrup back in Iowa.
Oh.
And so this is not their maple syrup, but maple syrup is like amazing. Especially like I remember pancake stuff sessions are amazing to our family. Maple syrup growing up was like this special thing where we have it in these really big mason jars and we would go to the fridge and get it out and we would pour just so much maple syrup on our pancakes and my dad would look at us and say, "You're licking all of that up. Like you're not wasting a drop of that maple syrup." And so it's really just amazing. And there's a lot of really cool fun facts about maple syrup. Everybody, before I answer this question, how many, and if my dad, you're watching this, you can't answer this because I asked you already. And you gave me the answer. How many gallons of sap does it take to make 1 gallon of maple syrup? Put your guess in the chat. I want to see what everyone's thinking for their guess. And then we'll kind of talk about it. But maple syrup is also really good because it tends to be a little bit lower glycemic than like our sugar that we normally want to consume or put on things. And there's tons of different antioxidants in it. A lot of them are the same that you would find in like berries. So there can be some correlation to, helping with chronic disease or like cognition and all that jazz. But that does not mean we drink a whole thing of maple syrup a day, right? It's all about moderation. It also can help out fight inflammation, and it's very high in zinc and manganese. So zinc is really important right now, obviously, because it's very good for our immunity. And manganese is good for carb and fat metabolism. So.
Oh, you got answers.
We have some answers.
Rose says 6.
Sierra.
And Sierra says 40.
Well, Sierra is my sister. And I don't know if she asked my dad this as well or how she knows, but she got it correct. It is 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup.
That was remarkable.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
In about one batch, makes about 3 to 4 gallons of sap. So my grandparents have a really cool old sap house that's like kind of like almost like a little shack. We be gifted our own jar of maple syrup, and it's like so yeah, amazing.
That's pretty great.
And yeah, a quick meal in the Flemish household was pancakes. I remember like my mom was gone once, and my dad was like making dinner, and of course being this like man from the Midwest that I absolutely love, he just made steak, and that was it. And we were like, Dad, what else are we supposed to eat? He said, make a pancake. So like pancakes were clearly staples
That's funny.
in our house.
Let's check back in on these pancakes. If you're not sure what a pancake should look like, or if you think you got your pan too hot or too cool, it should have this nice spidery, a little bit of dark and all that. So that's a classic pancake. Can't believe we have to say that.
Yeah.
But there's another really great benefit to these pancakes being whole wheat. Anyone in the audience want to take a guess? What do we get out of whole wheat that we're not going to get in all-purpose flour pancakes or like Bisquick pancakes?
Isn't it certain kinds of micronutrients?
There's going to be a lot of micronutrients.
Fiber?
The biggest thing is fiber and protein. There's actually going to be protein in whole wheat. Now, not your best source of protein, which we want to talk about today a little bit with this meal, but that's good to know, though, that whole wheat flour has a fair amount of protein. In fact, it's 4 grams per cup. I don't have a box around me. We'll have to check out the internet. But anyway, that's good to know. So now, what would you serve this with in the morning? Bacon?
No. Maybe it's like
Steak.
a treat. Everyone's, yeah, steak. There we go. My dad's meal, pancake and steak. You could serve this. Well, ideally, we would want a little bit of a higher protein source. So John and I already discussed this, and we thought poached eggs would be a really nice addition. I would say you could do like a vegetable scramble, maybe pair it with like a side of an almond, have a couple pancakes, a little bit of eggs with a lot of vegetables to increase our nutrient value. That would be mine. You can always top. I like my pancakes or waffles with like peanut butter and almond butter on top, so that's a great way to get a little extra protein. But we would, want to complete this meal.
Probably a poor choice of a meal would be to have hash browns along with 16 grams per cup of protein. Thank you for doing the research. 16 grams of protein per cup. But yeah, if you like hash browns, seems like it'd be a really good side.
We have a question.
Poor choice to have hash browns just because of the carbs. Lots of carbs, right? All right, we got a live question. What do we got?
So Sierra asked, what about peanut butter for protein? Which you can do peanut butter for protein, but you're getting about 8 grams per 2 tablespoons. And so to get a lot of protein, you're going to need a lot of extra peanut butter, which I'm not opposed to, but we would probably want a little bit of a different protein source.
That's a good question, though.
Nut butters.
Huh?
Other nut butters?
You can do other nut butter, so like almond butter has 3.4 grams per 2 tablespoons, so it's less. Yep.
So one of my most favorite breakfast joints in Minneapolis is actually St. Paul. Would take whole wheat pancakes and they would do banana slices, blueberries, and walnuts.
Oh.
And it was a really good portion of walnuts. And I always thought that was a good.
Me and my sister always had a tradition. When I lived closer to her, we would go do a nice long mountain bike ride or a road bike ride, and we'd come back and make waffles or pancakes together. And all the time, every time, like we're missing each other, we're like, we want to bike and eat pancakes and waffles. And we go hard on that stuff. I mean, I was telling John, I'm a pancake connoisseur. Me and my sister made pancakes every day the junior year of college, every morning. And we talked about it last night, and we were just like reminiscing of like, oh yeah, we made them this way. And I was always known as the one that was able to flip the pancakes the right way. She did not have that job.
All right. These things are starting to come out. Soon here we're going to have some audience participation and tasting to see what your unbiased reaction is to these pancakes. All right, we got our syrup. Other great toppings for this, applesauce goes really well with sourdough pancakes, and so we do that at our house as well, which is great. That needs a little more
This
time, right?
needs some more time.
Okay.
So if people want to try them without this.
We can,
Can
yeah,
try
maybe
again
you
later?
guys want to try these without.
Yes, please.
Also, make sure you don't stack your pancakes on top of each other. That just makes them all soggy. Get a plate big enough that you can spread them out. Makes it best. All right, so why don't we cut one up and we can try it and just tell us what you guys think as far as taste and texture.
There's some boards right here too.
They're the perfect size for those plates.
They
They're
are.
perfect size for the plates. Let's see. Give you one of the good ones here. I mean, you could roll a hot dog up in these things. They're like,
And you know what that would be called?
Biggest
No.
Scandinavian or your Nordic blood? A varmapulsa.
is that right?
Varmapulsa.
Wow,
That is a real thing, but it's lessa.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah.
that was a great fact. That was an unrehearsed fact. Here we've quartered this one. Would you like to try some?
I would be willing to try some.
And then
That's
you can
delicious.
try the full deal with the
I just
or
washed
the
my hands.
compote and all that.
So good. Whew. Wow.
Now, other things, if you need to, here's some really good tips from a pro, because I'm getting paid right now. When you're serving these to your family or friends, don't say, hey, I got some whole wheat sourdough pancakes. That doesn't sell, right? Call them homemade. These are homemade pancakes. Okay, they don't just call them what they are. Other great tips would be to make shapes using cookie cutters. So I will grease a cookie cutter like moose shape and hearts and things like that. The kids love that. I'm also going to make a target symbol here in a second, which my kids also love.
Wow, he's getting better every flip.
Every flip's a little better. How would you describe them as super sour or just what's the texture?
The texture is perfect. It's like almost crispy on the outside, but the thinnest layer of crispiness.
I like that little bit of crispy and then that soft middle.
Yes.
Really good flavor.
But
It
it's
almost
cooked all the way through.
Yeah, it's almost like creamy on the inside. It's so
Yeah.
sweet.
That's incredible. You guys covered basically the gamut. Crispy,
Yeah.
creamy, just right, perfect, good. Yes, they are light.
I was gonna say, it brings in like a great point of like when you're eating, you should be fully consumed in the food you're eating. They just use like all their senses to connect with the food. And if you're not connecting with the food, then you're not creating the digestive enzymes to break that food down. So if you're gonna have the pancakes, sit there, enjoy them to like their fullest.
Great points. Okay,
This has probably been about 15 minutes, right? Close.
we should probably invest in a timer.
Yeah.
So with the sourdough starter, we're going to send you a pizza crust recipe. The basic gist of pizza crust is it's very, very simple. It's the sourdough starter, it's whole wheat flour, it's water, and a little bit of salt. You mix it, and you let it sit, and then you roll it out onto your pizza oven, and that's it. So we'll send you that too. I don't know if maybe we'll do, we're going to bring in some other people on these classes. It's not just going to be, for sure, not me, because I'm almost out of all my tricks. But we'll get some other folks to get a variety of different styles of cooking and things like that.
So I just added the chia seeds to this jam, and then we just want to mix it in. You can pour it on there right away, but we would want it to let it actually sit for maybe like 10 minutes just so the chia seeds kind of expand. But then once you're done with this, you can just throw it in like a mason jar or Tupperware and put it in your fridge, grab it out, put it on something later or anything like that.
Oh, so good.
It's fine jam at the grocery store. It's always chock full of sugar.
Oh, it's the best compote I've ever seen made, probably.
Oh my gosh. They do that orange juice too.
Because we were out of lemon.
Oh, it's still got the zestiness.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see the target.
The target.
See how it turns out. Every griddle is a little bit different. It's nice to cook in your own kitchen, you know? So if we had to break this down nutrition wise, if you were to, we always like to do, and by the way, this is a meal for about 4 people in terms of how many pancakes it makes and all that. But it's always great to have 3 food groups in every meal. A dietitian, would you?
I
it's
would
better
agree. I would agree.
If you can have more, you want to have more. But
Absolutely.
the food groups being grains, proteins, vegetables, fats. I guess it depends on how we look at it. And then we've got our dairy. Oh my gosh.
We want our macronutrients.
Tell you what, we've got grains. We don't have our proteins on this, but we definitely have our fruits. So we're missing, but we didn't intend to really, I'm really digging a hole for us.
But the colors.
The colors are going to be great.
Yes. Vibrant colors.
If we could get a good protein on here as well, that would be really make this meal. Then we would have 3.
Top notch.
Okay. Now, are we going to have these? Is this ready? Ready to go?
I mean, ideally we'd want it to sit a little bit longer, so the cheese seeds might be a little bit like crunchy, obviously, but that's okay, right?
Oh my gosh, you guys tried these without syrup?
Oh, so good.
They're so
So
good. We didn't
good.
eat by themselves.
We got to do some real syrup on these as well. So let's get some of that going.
And while we're enjoying this, I've been on this really big kick this week because everything is starting, this crazy normal is starting to kind of take a toll, and I think on a lot of us. And I asked my Tai Chi class this yesterday, and I talked to my sister about this, but I would love to hear like what is bringing you guys joy currently. So like a wonderful meal brings me a lot of joy. People bring me tons of joy, so please put in the chat what's bringing you joy at this moment.
I noticed that the ice cream was on sale today. I'm sure there's a lot of people eating ice cream.
Do you want some of this?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
I don't know how much. That good?
That's
Wow, that looks good. Jeez, that really broke down really nicely.
No joke. That looks perfect.
You know, if we were in the backwoods with the sound of birds and like wooden plates, I mean, we'd be sitting on
pretty.
some gold mine, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Keeping track of this one, man. Oh my god.
Don't forget your maple syrup.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, it tastes like fall.
Does it?
Tastes like fall.
Do you want to
good
get the?
idea.
There we go.
I was too busy eating.
Being able to watch.
Who's,
Let's
yeah,
see.
what's bringing people
Good way
joy?
for it, John. Being able to watch cooking videos while I'm working from home.
Oh,
Wouldn't be able to do this if I was in office. That's a great one.
That's a good catch.
Oh.
Is it good?
Truly.
Goes good with coffee. And not that Folgers crap that you can see through good coffee.
Yes.
Maybe next week we'll go over how to make French press coffee.
Yes.
Yes.
So I could eat the whole thing.
I can.
Do it. We've got more.
Right? Oh, it's so good.
So I'm making my pancake here. Second to last pancake.
Oh, these are heavenly.
Do you want 4, John?
Sure.
I only want a couple bites.
Okay, we could cut that one
There's
down.
a big
Yeah.
giant one there too.
There's a big one.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out. My target pancake did not turn out.
But you can
I see
tell
it.
that it was, yeah.
I was
It was such a
impatient.
good effort.
I was definitely impatient, and the temperature of the grill wasn't right for pancakes. Target simple pancakes.
These end up
Man,
being
that
really
berry
great.
stuff is good.
It
That's
was
cool.
really good.
Nice job.
Go
The
ahead.
berry stuff is so
But you still
good.
get the protein.
And you still get the protein.
Thanks, Savannah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I've done this berry stuff on like an almond flour bread before too. And that's really
Oh.
good.
People want so many things.
Now the fun part of eating. I wonder if anyone's doing Zoom dinners. Just watching each other eat. Probably.
Me and my sister do
Is
that
it for
actually a
Easter?
lot.
It's
We'll
not that
FaceTime
crazy.
each other if you need dinner
Sure.
at the same time, or it's more of us being like, "You're really loud. Stop chewing."
That's a good way to have some
Somebody else.
family time still.
True.
So moving forward, we're going to keep doing these cooking classes. I know that we're also working on probably a lecture series that is going to revolve around COVID and building your immune system. You know, if we look at the research and just some of the reports and the science, there's two things that are becoming pretty clear. Is the vaccine is going to take a while. We're going to be in this for a long haul. And there's a lot you can do to improve your immune system, and a lot of it's lifestyle related. And so I think we're working on we've been pulling a lot of research articles and jamming together as a group. And so we're really starting to see a lecture series or maybe a panel discussion about what can you do to improve your immune system. And it's remarkable what you can do. So that'll be exciting to do that. But do we know what we're making next week?
We don't.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that
We
is.
can spend days discussing.
I just thought of an idea, but I'm going to see here.
Good idea.
For reason.
Hey, let us know too if you made that beans and rice from last week with the hot pink salsa. That was really tasty, and that is online. That video. This video will be back online in about 24 hours. So we will send out that recipe hopefully today.
Yes.
I scanned a copy to you
I got
so that
Mhm.
you just
And
email
it's
it out.
typed in.
Perfect. And you typed it in. Thank you so much, Shay. All right. What else do we got? Is that it
That's
for
it.
today?
I think that's it. Thank
Cool.
you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take time to enjoy a meal with your family. Do something that finds you joy every single day. And we will see you guys in our other classes or next Wednesday.
Thanks for joining. Take care.
I'm so happy right now.